Good morning everyone, I'm TheCommissar and we are watching Forged Alliance Forever, and today I have a new and exciting idea for you. Now you would feel a bit short-changed if I were to come along and say, oh look, here's a game, it's 15 minutes long but it's really good. You'd feel I'd conned you out of half a cast, right? So, today we're going to have a couple of shorter 1v1 ladder games, but the keyword there is a couple. We're going to have a double feature. So, comment below, like, subscribe, and tell me what you think. Without further ado, let's go on to the first game and meet these players. Down here in the bottom left, we have Trandan in blue, and he is Cybran. He's 2062 rated, he's opened first round, and he's following it up with... what order is that? Looks like second and third air. And up here in the north against him in red we have StormLantern, 1838 rated, and also going Cybran. He's gone first round and we don't know what else he's going to go yet. So, the map is Twin Rivers. Now, I would say you all know it because this map has been around for a long time, but maybe we've got some new people here who don't know, so let's have a look at it. It has a bit of reclaim dotted about, a few rocks, a lot of trees, and then there's these little areas here with a couple of wrecked transports here and here to pick up. And out here on the edges, these are walled off by cliffs, so these little side plateaus can only be reached by edge build or by transport. I say everyone knows it. Fun fact, in the first Polish dictionary published in the 1740s, I think, the definition they gave of a horse translated as horse. Noun. Everyone knows what a horse is. Everyone knows what Twin Rivers is, but maybe you don't. So, a couple of obvious expansions here, and the other starting positions are here and here, and mirrored here and here, because this is a map that goes up to 6 players in the default version. Early lab play, we got a hunter coming out here, and another and an actual mantis coming out here, so if they meet, the mantis is going to win, but the hunter's faster. Also a hunter out on this side, and now StormLantern is following it up with a mantis up here. This engineer is going straight for that reclaim and then on through. I would have killed that up manually, but Trandan is just bulling through it with a single engineer. Where's this hunter going? That hunter feels like it should be going... Ah, no, it's got to try and get this engineer. But it's the scout has seen this one and is coming round to try and catch it, which is a good play. StormLantern has followed Trandan's lead and has gone for second and third air. Expansion at about the same speed to the back and to the flank. This fellow's gone around the back. So this engineer was caught quite early by the looks of things and didn't get much reclaim there. But nobody's gone for this reclaim patch yet, so pretty much even Stevens. This mantis is coming out to try and stop any raids coming through here, whereas StormLantern has managed to sneak his hunter all the way through the back. He was hoping to pick up a hydro engineer, and he probably will. The engineer is going for the hydro, he sees it, he stops, and he shoots it. Good reaction there from Trandan trying to reclaim it, but StormLantern is on the ball, he dodges back and out of the way, and this engineer pulls away until such time as this mantis can come and clear it up. Meanwhile, this mantis has come in for a raid here, and will pick off this engineer. So that's before he completes the PD, so that's a great early start for StormLantern. He's denied the hydro here. He hasn't actually denied any mexes here, but he's got dudes in here shooting them, and he's forcing Trandan to stop and deal with it. But Trandan's got his own mantis into the back. Hydro's already up, and the engineer knows the mantis is coming and is running away, but not in time. But StormLantern's also got his mantis in a bit faster to deal with it. So we'll see how that turns out as well. This is going to be an edge build up here for Trandan. He's just walked an engineer out, or rolled an engineer out, I suppose, one little rolled and hovered. Actually, that's not hover, is it? Rolled and floated. UEF and Cyber engineers don't hover, Eon and Seraphim ones do. So these mantis from Trandan, they've messed around a bit and had some fun, but they haven't really achieved much. Did they even kill that? They hurt this engineer, but they didn't even kill him. Whereas that hunter managed to take out a mechs back here, and this hunter is waiting to ambush any boy coming down here. So that feels like it was a slightly better start for StormLantern. He's certainly got more eco coming in. And he's picked up slightly more mass overall. Trandan's got more land force here. He's got a little band of guys sauntering around there. But there's quite a big group of bots out here from StormLantern here to prevent it. I think this was a mistake, landing those fighters, and Storm realizes it and picks it up. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factories complete on the ground here for Trandan, and 6 more queued. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Storm. He's also got 2 over here, whereas Trandan doesn't though, so overall Storm's production is better. And this factory is just slowly putting out engineers to grab the reclaim and the Vexes up here. This or its mirror are the usual places where you would send your comm, and Trandan has come up on this side. StormLantern's gone to flank it and come around here. Good at a raid from Storm. He's taken out Amex, but he hasn't really pushed in very deep, and this could be good though, because there isn't as much here from Trandan to stop it. And while Trandan's comm is here, so is Storm's. Neither side really made any inroads into the central reclaim, but now Trandan's on the way to change that, snaffling the reclaim that is, you would have thought, StormLantern's. It's a bit closer to Storm, and now he's finally got an engineer in here, so this will be an economic advantage to Trandan. Though his production is less, he's definitely going to be going up in the reclaim stakes soon, and he's currently behind, but he's catching up as we speak. There we go. Bit of scoutery going on over here. I imagine we'll see a transport soon from Trandan coming out to grab this side plateau. Over here, StormLantern has seen what's going on and realised that it would be a bad idea to drop it there. There's already tanks put up here in a defence, just in case Storm's ready to drop. Back and forth, back and forth. Gun upgrade on the way for... Oh, I thought I saw that comm about to go and steal this stuff, but he hasn't. Trandan's just pulled back a bit, and he's still a bare comm, no upgrades, whereas Storm is most of the way to gun. So, could be a nice advantage for Storm over on this side. These sides look very even, and here's a transport coming out for Storm with a bunch of engineers, which he drops off, and they immediately get set to work on a factory. But Trandan is having none of it, and he picks up a bunch of tanks, a bunch of mantis. It's like a full load of 6 mantis getting on that skyhook, and he's coming out with screening already. So there's 5 engineers here, and they're getting quickly set up. They'll get that factory down easy. But with this fighter screen to protect the transport, there's 6 mantis coming in here to deal with this. And if Trandan can get both plateaus, that would be quite the advantage. The mantis land. Immediately, Storm moves to defend with this gun. But I think those mantis are going to clear everything up. Oh, and there was an engineer on board, and it's just reclaiming the factory. This mantis looks like it will make it out before the reclaim completes, so that might be good. But he'll have to focus down the engineer first, and then maybe come up this side. No, he comes up this side. He focuses the engineer. and takes down the engineer, but there's 5 mantis against 1 plus a factory. And the factory's almost dead. The factory is dead. Okay, so that's going to go over Trandan's way unless we see more stuff coming out here. Meanwhile, Trandan's pulled back a bit here, and he's also getting gun on his comm. So all the fun action has been up here on the plateaus. We have another drop coming out for... He is sending it out here for his Storm. What's he actually got on board? Looks like only a couple of engineers. I mean, he knows there's Mantis there. This feels like a mistake. We've got Tech 2 land here on the field for Storm, and I'm not seeing... Yeah, that's a tech upgrade on the way for Trandan, but he's paused it. Oh no, there we are. Good. Nope. Oh! He dropped engineers, which have died, or will die, but he also dropped a Rhino, and that T2 Rhino is going to clear up those silly little T1 units and guard this plateau. And now, if Storm can get a drop out from here with this Rhino to defend it, he should be able to keep a hold of that plateau. We'll keep an eye on that. Engagement down here. More T1 for Trandan by some way, but we're seeing these Rhinos coming in now, and they could make all the difference. There's 2 here, there's 1 here. And Trandan still hasn't finished that tech upgrade. We're not seeing any air tech from either player as yet, though I'm only seeing 1 air factory from Trandan, and I'm seeing 4 from Storm, so Storm should have an air advantage quite soon. Stealth now going down for Storm. He hasn't pushed here yet, but there... Oh, imagine a couple of Medusa shots or landing in there. Actually, do Medusa have much blast damage? Can't remember. Maybe we can... Yeah, 2 splash. A couple of Medusa shells in there would have been quite hilarious, but they've started spreading out again. Ooh, do they know they're coming? I see a stealth field in there. They don't have a coup. They don't have a coup. There's a great big army here. And is he just lacking intel, or is there stealth there? I'm not seeing any stealth in there, so I think that Trandan just doesn't have the intel, and so he's being caught out here. With the soap, most of those mantis will be blocked, so this is an excellent engage for Storm. Trandan now also going for stealth. And he's going to grab this reclaim field. He's already got engineers coming up. This feels like a big win for Storm over here. So we finally have T2 on the field for Trandan. He's getting some Rhinos out, but there's already Rhinos here for Storm. Storm's comm has both gun and stealth. And he's got these boys sauntering around the outside, picking off this T2 engineer. That's quite an expensive loss for Trandan, which I don't think he'll enjoy. Surprised Storm hasn't found the time to and speak of the devil. This badly damaged transport, which is quite risky given there are fighters around here. This transport is coming out to help finally reclaim this plateau for Storm. So at the moment, Trandan's had control of this plateau, and this plateau hasn't been exploited by anyone for some time, but Storm definitely has the lead on the main map. And if we take a look at ecos, Trandan's actually been ecoing up pretty well. I can see a bunch of T2 mexes around there, which feels like it's a few more than Storm's got, but Storm's now catching up because he's just holding on to a bit more in the middle. He's got these and these, whereas Trandan only has these. Stealth now complete there for Trandan. I'm assuming this is still old style ladder, not BT. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the upgrade that's going to go here. Cloaking is going to be a bit cheaper because there's going to be another upgrade, a nano upgrade, in between here and here. So at the moment, cloaking sort of comes with nano, and cyber don't have nano, but a nano upgrade in between stealth and cloaking, which is coming in the new version, is going to be exciting. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to enjoy playing cyber a lot more now. But at the moment, they don't feel like they have great Rambo comps until you can afford the huge upgrade to cloaking. But with the advent of nano in between stealth and cloaking, I'm gonna enjoy playing cyber and going Rambo more. Sorry about the cough. So, we've had a drop here coming in of 2 more rhinos, and there's a lot of engineers putting up a turret here, but those bombers just take care of that, no problems. And I think he'll be able to deny it. Look at this. So this is, with this being built up by those engineers here, and this rhino drop here, it feels like the plateaus have suddenly swung in Storm's favour. But as the plateaus go in Storm's favour, and here come the Engies to exploit it, as the plateaus go in Storm's favour, that's a lot of T2 now on the field for Trandan, both here and here, and he's pushing Storm back a bit. But Storm now has both plateaus, and that's given him a significant lead in the eco. That's what, 12 leads, which so what, between 10 and 15% lead. That's not to be sniffed at. What do you think at this stage? What's your bets on whether Trandan or Storm win? Tell me in the comments below. I always point and you can't see I'm pointing, and then I have to raise my hand up so you can see I'm pointing. There's just still a significant amount of T2. All of this is T2, and very little of this is. There's like 1 rhino in there. So Storm's definitely going to have to be quite careful here. But Storm's got up to T3 now, and I suspect, Trandan hasn't even started, and I'm seeing the first brick under construction, so that could turn the tide. Still, Storm has to be careful that this big wave of tanks just don't rush in and eat him. They're all massing together here. How many rhinos is that? On the board in total we've got 40 rhinos from Trandan, and we've only got 4 from Storm, so that's a big deficit. But now there's a brick. This brick here, which we mentioned earlier, this brick could turn the tide, and with the Medusas integrated into the mix, which can stun the rhinos, that combination, bricks, Medusas and rhinos, could really put a damper on this push from Trandan. Did I see that was an invulnerable radar? That's a bit rude. We have seen that bug once or twice. You get invulnerable things. Sometimes the players will point it out and complain, and I have seen some players be extremely good sports, and when they see that something is invulnerable and should be dead, they will control K it. But I don't think anyone noticed that here. Trandan out on his own, sauntering unsupported in here. That's dangerous when there are gunships around, there are bricks around. Yeah, have we got any air tech? I don't see any air tech from Trandan, whereas we know that there's at least Tech 2 on the field here for Storm, and Storm is taking advantage of that, plus his other factories providing supporting interceptors. He's taking advantage of that to produce gunships, but 1 brick, is that enough to stop this many rhinos? There's already rhinos at the back being shot up by gunships. Renegades are transportable? That seems odd. The bricks now come back to deal with these rhinos, but they have taken out a couple of mexes. and Trandan's back in the lead on eco, so he's knocked out these mexes, he's knocked out these mexes, he's even knocked out these mexes with his little rhino plays, and so Trandan's back in the lead economically, despite both the plateaus being in the hands of Storm. And here comes another heavy rhino push against just a bit of artillery from Storm, though Storm's got turrets up here, which will help him, but this feels like it might be enough to just take the common. Look at Storm, he's shedding health here. He runs away like the cowardly Cybran that he is, even against other cowardly Cybrans. He brings in a quick rhino for support, and he's got more with the bricks coming in here. Will they be enough to save him? 5,000 hit points. Yeah, they've stopped to try and take out this P-Gen, and while that P-Gen will be a nice prize, and it is a nice prize, it does mean that these bricks and rhinos are able to defeat the push. And now we have bricks from Trandan as well, who has seen which way this game is going. Still T2 P-Gen going here for Storm. In fact, has Storm even bothered to build a T3 NG? I don't know if he has, but we've definitely got T3 P-Gens going up here for Trandan. And putting that factory, that air factory next to it, makes me think he's going to go for air tech as well. And now we have a lot of T3 land factories here. We've got 3 support factories producing T3 land for Trandan. Whereas up here, is Storm having problems? So, yeah, Storm is having major power problems because he's lost these P-Gens as well. So he's having to pause significantly, and that's going to slow him up a bit. Did I even see those get destroyed? They must have been these rhinos that came in here and got popped. So he's got some, but he's still suffering power problems. And there's a brick drop up here from Trandan. So this plateau might change hands again, as that brick can easily take out those couple of rhinos in defense. If it focuses, it needs to focus down these engineers before they put up the PD, and indeed Trandan spots it, and he's done the same on the other side as well. He's dropped this brick here. So could the plateaus be about to change hands yet again? That brick feels like it's going to just win that plateau. This brick having a little more trouble with the PD, but it takes it in the end. There's a lot of NGs here who could throw up another, and there is another PD. So we'll come back in and check on that later. Quite a reasonable land force here, but Storm's just up on the front on his own. He just needs to move this in. Does he? I don't think he knows about those bricks. And suddenly the bricks open fire on him. Could this? And there's yet more coming in. Could this be a huge misstep from Storm? I think it is. He's backing up towards his PD, and he dies. StormLantern just didn't notice that wave of bricks coming in, and the game's over. Did you see that one coming, dear viewers? Anyway, that was game 1 of 2 today, so stay tuned, and there will be another game coming up shortly. In the meantime, you know what to do. You need to like, subscribe, and obey, and stick right here for the next game. And we're back. Let's have a look at our players. In the north, rated 1513, and in blue and in Eon we have GeraltOfRivia, taking a break from his witching to serve Princess Rianne, I guess. And in the south, in red, also Eon, rated 1154, we have Polygon. So, based on rating alone, you'd expect Geralt to have quite an advantage. Let's see if that turns out to be what happens. Now, the map. Bermuda Locket. It's been around for quite a while, but just in case, let's talk about it. We have expansions here, 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 and here, which are the other start points for the players should this map go for 4v4, or 2-2-2-2, I guess. There are also these other expansions on the causeways, and Reclaim. Reclaim is the big thing on this map. There's about 40,000, give or take. And if we have a look at some of these builds, you'll see quite a lot of power, while engineers get these mass areas and reclaim them, rather than going for the mass points right away. So, dropping is going to be a big thing here. You can get transports out with engineers to get these points early, and if you don't, you might have problems maintaining area control. And the lake and the sea around the outside aren't connected, so you might have to put navy on both, and if you lose one of them, either one of them, then you could find yourself with some problems. Let's have a look at where they're going. One air factory still queued up for each player. Little bit of expansion out on foot here for Geralt, and a similar story, albeit with only one engineer, for Polygon. Polygon's got this engineer coming all the way up around here, on foot, all the way to here. That's quite the journey. Similar thing up to here for Geralt. But Geralt's already got a transport queued up in his air factory as the first thing off the block. Not so for Polygon, who's just got engineers at the moment. So Geralt will get a transport out, and it will be unopposed by any enemy fighters, so that could give him quite an early lead. But Polygon is going for an early naval play, and here he's already putting up a naval factory at under 3 minutes. No sign of that yet from Geralt, and I would be on Geralt's side in this metaphorical debate, in that I would be favouring early expansion by air over any over navy quite this early. Sure, there's a lot of mass, but do you really have the eco to support a navy just yet? Now this transport was loaded up with I think 5 engineers, and it's already on its way out, and there's nothing out from Polygon to stop it. He has got a fighter queued up after this engineer, but nothing to stop this transport at all. And there should be no problem for Geralt getting out factories. Oh, it looks like he's doing a double drop, so getting up a factory here and then another one at the other expansion on this flank. Here's his transport dropping off 2 engineers, and they're going straight for a land factory. And the other 3 on board that same transport come down over here. And they immediately get to work on no fewer than 4 factories, so they're presumably aiming to press a lot of spam down this causeway here. Still no transport from Polygon, but he's got a second engineer assisting that naval factory, and he's got a frigate and a shard queued up, an attack boat. Now, Eon frigates don't have any anti-air, and as a result their T1 anti-air in the sea is provided by attack boats. Now, I very rarely see these built, so let's see what Polygon does with it. Meanwhile, Polygon's comm is coming out here to set up a stronger position here, I imagine, whereas Geralt has stayed in his base. I heard a bit of air engagement there. I imagine that was these fighters going for one of those scouts, because I'm still not seeing any fighter protection for any of Polygon's stuff, and so completely unopposed, a third one of these expansions looks like it's going to go down to Geralt's drop. And here he drops off a full 5 engineers. I guess he knows from his scouting that he's going to be in contention with Polygon over this expansion here. But right now, it looks like we've got 4-2 of the expansions, maybe even 4-1, depending on how this goes down, in favour of Geralt. But here, he's just parked his attack boat up here, and the early attempt to get naval factories down was just denied because Polygon had such an early frigate and he just blocked it. So the combination of this attack boat and this frigate could keep Geralt out of the water up here. That said, he could also come into the water here, which at the moment Polygon's doing nothing to block. He might even try over here, though that would be more daring. I'm going to say that it's more usual to go for the inner lake first than it is to go for the outer sea. Lots of engineers massing up, presumably to assist the naval yard, or maybe build a couple more. And Aurora's being all floaty around the outside here, as well as down the middle. Going all floaty, I would say, given what he knows up here, is a risk, because a frigate counters Aurora's really well. And if another frigate were to come out here, I think it would stop these Auroras quite easily. And here comes a frigate, I think. That counters that, no problems. Little bit of spam trickling in from Polygon over here, but rather more trickling in from Geralt, and I think Geralt has the advantage here until such time as Polygon decides to bring his comm in, because Geralt's still back here, Polygon's on the front line. Meanwhile, here come the pushes from Geralt. This frigate stands still. That's a mistake. The frigate needs to move to be able to deal with the Aurora. And Polygon realizes that and moves it, and it promptly does deal with the Aurora. Down they all go. But he's getting in here, is Geralt, with these tanks. This point defense probably going up, and that'll help out, certainly. But this is producing tanks, this one isn't. So one factory of tanks versus these four. I know which of those I back. That said, this turret is probably going to manage sterling work, so maybe Polygon gonna hold? Still, if we just look at the map control for a second, look at this. It's just crazy. Compared to just this.
Commander under attack.
Huge advantage in map control to Geralt. Defensive play from Polygon, putting up a turret. But Polygon can't develop here while all the spam is messing around, and he's aiming to consolidate it with a factory here. Meanwhile, expansion to this point. I'm surprised that we haven't got these areas here expanded to yet, or even queued. So that seems like something that Geralt could do with getting his hands on quickly now that he's got this area locked down. It feels like these are quite safe for him. More naval denial up here. He's only left the attack boat here, the anti-air boat, while this frigate comes down here, but at the moment he has got Geralt locked well and truly out of the inner lake, and he's going T2 here on this naval yard, so a couple of destroyers could have a bit of fun around here. Now he's bombarding Polygon's comm with all these Aurorae, and Polygon gets the gun upgrade, but he's taken quite a lot of damage already. He's got only 6,000 hits left, but with the range upgrade on the comm and this turret, he should be able to see off this sort. There's no artillery in here, so you can't do anything about that. And immediately Polygon goes for speed on the comm, and with that he should be able to see this off and maybe get a hold of this expansion. He doesn't really have the production capacity though, with one factory here, one factory here. He's only making engineers here. Engineers here. He's only got 3 factories producing land spam compared to these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from Geralt. So there's just so much more in the field. And speaking of more in the field, let's see how that's affecting the eco. 116 to Geralt, only 80 to Polygon. So That's a lead of 35 mass per tick, and it shows in the totals already 34 to 47. Geralt's collected 12,000 more mass than Polygon. And now he's going for C on the outside where Geralt's going for C on the outside where Polygon hasn't blocked him. And with a lot of T1 factories, he's planning to spam frigates. But here's a cruiser out from Polygon. And is this a destroyer following it up, I think? So with those, he'll be able to do some good bombardment, and thanks to having locked out the sea, there's nothing that, on the inside, there's nothing that Geralt can really do to stop these T2 ships. Same trick going on here. Geralt's using his superior, I say superior economy, but what's this? Is he power locked? Yeah, he's hugely power locked. And that's a destroyer going down, I think. And here is Polygon's destroyer, but Polygon's going straight for T3. Could he be planning to use battleships or Eon missile ships, torrents? I don't see the torrent used very often, so if we see some torrent play on this map, which would work well, because battleship fire will often be blocked by these cliffs, but torrents fire up and over, so we could be in for one of the rare appearances of the torrent missile ships, and that would be exciting. Meanwhile, Polygon's double guncom hates this wall, but he has managed to recapture this area, and or its as yet untaken reclaim, for his own nefarious purposes. More static defences going up here. And still no T2 creeping in here from Geralt. Has he got T2 land? No, but he's got T3 air, so let's keep an eye on that. Actually, no, he has got T2 land here, but he isn't making much use of it yet. I'm not seeing any T2 units yet, but he's got blazes under production, and they could be fun. How about air here? Well, we've only got T2 air from Polygon, so Geralt's T3 versus Polygon's T2. I know which I'm banking on, and he's already got ASFs out, has Geralt, to lock down Polygon's air. Wonder whether Polygon knows about that. He absolutely does. He's scouted it and he's seen that it's upgraded. I mean, now he knows because there's an ASF flying over him. So if I were him, I would definitely be thinking about getting that air up to T3. He's torpedo bombing the frigates that aren't really achieving much because of the cliff faces. This destroyer might achieve more because of the arc of its shots and its longer range, but we'll see. And now there's some arty in here. These gun emplacements, these static turrets, they're just going to fall. So Polygon needs to worry about this. Mind you, Geralt needs to do this and send his ASFs down to worry about the torpedo bombers, because none of these ships have any anti-air at all, and so Polygon can just pick them off at will. Meanwhile, Polygon's comm, who now has shield as well, pushes forward a little bit with his minor amount of spam. Is that what I think it is? Is that a torrent missile ship being produced here? Could be fun times. And Polygon's been hugely ecoing in his base. 110. He's still 30 or 40 now behind Geralt, but for just this tiny little bit of territory, being even vaguely close to the economy that Geralt has across this huge area of map is quite crazy. and there's no T2 up here, so the comm and spam should easily be able to deal with that. And here's that torrent missile ship throwing its shots down. Just blazes coming out of the HQ. Are they going to do anything fun? Where were they gathering? This is a mistake from Geralt, parking his air above the cruiser. He's just going to shoot it all down. I mean, he knows about the missile ship and he wants to do something about it, but this cruiser is coming in to support it, and if I were Polygon, I would be moving this cruiser up to support it as well, because this is your main offence here. Your main offensive unit is that one missile ship. You've got very little else on the ground or on the sea or in the air that could actually achieve anything. But it's already been taking out a few mexes, and it could be about to take out more. Still a lot of T1 around for Geralt. But this is good. Is that... I don't recognise off the top of my head whether that's a Strat or it's a Strat. I wonder whether it was a Strat or a T2 bomber. And what's he going to do with it, though, with all those cruisers hanging around? And the Air HQ is under fire. He hasn't got the TMD he needs. Where's the TMD? Eon TMD is so good, if he just puts like 3 or 4 here, he'll save the HQ. But boom! That T3 HQ is dead, thanks to this missile ship. And he loved that enough that he's going for another. But he's making losses here. And now we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases to only 2 for Geralt. Now that this one has been cleaned out. I say cleaned out, but he's ignoring the factory in the last couple of mexes to just push on in here. And if this naval yard dies, then that will be a major blow for Polygon because of just how much he's invested into it. And the eco now, Geralt has twice Polygon's eco. Now that he's cleared out this area and these. And, I mean, sure, there are turrets going up, but can Polygon stop this? However, that Pigeon's out thanks to the missile ship, and Geralt has been very quick to get up this T3 Air HQ again. Props to him for that. But is it as vulnerable to the missile ship as the last one was? I mean, where's his TMD? I'm not seeing any. Third missile ship on the way. There's the second. But now these destroyers, some of them are getting their shots in to bombard Polygon's main base. These tanks will just walk straight in there. So Polygon's main base is about to fall. He gets a destroyer out. Oh, he must have cancelled that third missile ship and gone for a quick destroyer to try and defend this, because... Yeah, and I think he's keeping on down the destroyer path to see if he can hold this area, because that naval factory, it's his last best hope for peace. Meanwhile, his comms pushed up and might actually evict Geralt from this expansion. Because with the comm taking out units and the artillery taking out buildings, Geralt's comm is quite worried about this missile fire and is retreating to the water outside where he has naval superiority. Is that another HQ? I think it is, you know. I think he's had to do it all over again. But that's a lot of Auroras and Eon destroyers. They fire slowly, and so lots of little tanks can mob a destroyer to death, especially if they get all around it and just wear it down while it can't point in all directions at once. But there's about to be another one out to help with the fight, and a third one on the way. They just ignore, they think the first destroyer and focus on the second one. Meanwhile, this bombardment from the outside, it's not getting as much done as it would like because of all these cliffs. And while I guess Geralt probably does he have any air left? Not a single fighter, compared to the 6 Swifties of Polygon. So Geralt no longer has the air and can't do anything about these T1 bombers. Polygon's evicted Geralt from up here and is looking set to claim it himself. Whatever's happened? But this naval yard, he should focus on that. He should absolutely turn around and kill that naval yard. It's in the red. It's still trying to produce... Now it's just producing frigates as a last-ditch defense. And T2 Navy on the inside now for Geralt. Has Polygon's time finally come? Ooh, he needs to reposition that missile ship a bit so it can actually get a decent hit on that mechs. Over here, these frigates just stuck up against the wall. Feels like he should have just shot those with his commander, because they're just providing 4 mass between them to Geralt. I mean, actually, I say that, but Geralt is having such power issues that they're probably not providing him much mass right now. He desperately needs to get power. I mean, he's lost his next HQ and he's trying yet again. This is the 4th air factory he's tried to take up to a T3 HQ. But where can he get his power to run it? I'm not seeing any T2 gens anywhere around the place. I think you might just be getting only the power from these T1 gens. Oh, this missile ship though is the target of fire from this destroyer, and I don't think that's going to survive. Boom! It's hit by a round from the Exodus destroyer and it slowly topples over and sinks to the bottom of the lake. The destroyer dies as well, mobbed down by the fire from all these boys, but it killed the missile ship, which is what was doing the most damage. That said, he's taken out this HQ, so Geralt's now going to have trouble getting back into the inner ring. This was a wise move. Seeing this factory so close to destruction, he's popped out some T3 engineers, which he's now sent up to the middle of the map Will he try and throw down another naval yard? That's what I would be doing with those. Just in case. And over here, this lone torrent, this hero torrent, with 36,000 mass killed, is absolutely laying the pain down on Geralt's base. And meanwhile, all the way around here, Polygon's finally pushed in. Geralt had such a lead. What's happened to it? Well, he's still doing pretty well over here. Is that a carrier going down? I think it's a carrier or two to regain air from the water that Polygon's trying to build, but that's not getting anywhere because that naval yard is blown up. And another wave of T1 tanks pushes itself in. I mean, there's an awful lot of reclaim there. There's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... plus, of course, the naval yard, the T3 naval yard. There must be 25,000 reclaimed just there alone now. And yet another air factory goes down to the missile ship bombardment. And where Geralt had everything, suddenly he has nothing. 32 mass per tick compared to Polygon's 37. He's had to pause all these naval factories. I mean, what can he do? This air-focused base now lacks anything to defend against this force pushing in. He's losing his last mexes, and they desperately try to throw up point defense, but what can stop them? That point defense might get one or two up, but there's enough further far landing that none of it's going to last. And with the torrent providing long distance artillery support, Geralt has been evicted from his main base. It's all just wreckage and red tanks now. But as this push comes around here, this push comes around here. Yin and yang. Down goes the penultimate factory, and the last one is soon to follow. And there's only a couple of pitiful little flares pissing around in defense here. The last factory goes down there. So both players have lost all build power. Oh, I take a lie. There's 80 hit points of air factory there, but that's about to be taken out. So both players have now lost all build power in their main bases, and what's left of the main base is out on the flanks for each one. There's a big navy here, but it just can't get over the cliff. And while Geralt's recovered a tiny bit to 39, Polygon's expanding faster to 57, and Geralt just doesn't have the eco to get the missile ships and cruisers he needs to get bombardment into Polygon's base. And the one remaining missile ship is just working its way through all the mexes now, clearing them up. And having killed everything possible to kill in Geralt's base, this force moves down here. And I mean, sure, there's a lot of engineers here, but with what eco are they going to build anything? I'm guessing Geralt is focusing on micro around here, where he pushes this lot up towards Polygon's base. Polygon's desperately trying to get power up here. He's also not producing a great deal in his stored, but he's at least growing his eco a bit, and Geralt just isn't. Both forces just trickling their units in. If one of them stopped to mass their units, they would have quite the advantage, I think. But this line of PD should guard from this force of Geralt's pushing into Polygon's base. That said, these destroyers have come around the back and are able to bombard this area. Polygon's noticed and is quickly putting up shields in order to defend, and his comm, who has a shield of his own, is going to come down and probably try and overcharge these destroyers. Indeed he is, look at that. And with these shimmers dropping the EMP bombs to stun their boats, Polygon's comm won't have much trouble clearing this up, and Geralt sees that and retreats. But look at this destruction. This is now the only mechs that Geralt has to his name. He's had to pause everything. He's entirely reliant on this lot killing Polygon, and they're just not getting through his shields. Polygon dancing back and forth, unleashing overcharges to just... I'm assuming he's got overcharge. Well, he sort of has, but he hasn't got the power really to do it very often. Even so, he's boldly coming forward. His shield goes down, but with these fellas coming in here, and is that the last mechs being targeted? Yes, it is. Geralt has only the mass income from his commander, the one singular mass income from his commander, and his fleet shooting Polygon's comm, who's boldly come out to face them in person. This army's being pushed back. Polygon up on full vet now. And his shield slowly coming back up. What hope is there for Geralt with his one mass? So, Geralt used to have 3/4 of the map under his control. And now, he's got literally nothing. And Geralt calls it. He says GG. And he honourably quits. So, did you think that was going to go Polygon's way in the end? That was quite the turnaround in my opinion, and it was all down to this hero missile ship with his 47,000 mass killed. My loyal viewers, did you enjoy having a double feature today? If you did, please tell me in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, follow and obey, and I will see you next time. Good day.